Do.
Without that, here in Khorasan, Torbat, the biggest center, the biggest region for the producing saffron. In the Iran is near the 98% of the saffron production related to Iran, with 500 tons dry saffron production per year, and near the 95% of the production of saffron in Iran related to the Khorasan, especially south of Khorasan, known as the Torbat. This is the near the 8 a.m. and the workers and these workers, please show us. These workers came there near the 3 a.m., 4 a.m. The morning time, soon morning, when the weather is completely dark, without any sunlight. Now started from the one part, from the other part. They have started to the harvesting of the saffron. Now continue at the end of the land, and the end of the saffron. This is the saffron, and in the numerous part. In the saffron flower, usually during 2 or 3 weeks will appear. For example, you harvested, again tomorrow the new flowers will appear like this, and the women and the men, now they are together harvest the saffron maximum 10 a.m. because after the 10 a.m. now you can see the sunlight in my eyes, how is the bothers me. Also, this is the negative point sunlight for the flowers, specialized for the open flowers. This is the open flowers, and when the sunlight face with this is, the quality of the stigma will be decreased, all the opens. Now if, for example, if the worker couldn't today harvest and postpone to the tomorrow, all the quality will be half. The components, the quantity, the ratio of the drying stigma to fresh to the dry, and will be decreased. Therefore, in the on time, due to this reason, the owner of the farm hire a lot of workers for the gathering, because this is unlike the cucumber, unlike the apple, that even the 7 days, 10 days will stay on the tree. Now when they close, we should harvest. Now you can see this is a wilting, the flowers. This flower, this is the flower. Yesterday should be harvested. Now when we stay, that means we should hire a lot of workers, and for example, not with the 5 or 10. You can see this is over 30 workers. They have started to the growing, and on time should be harvested, because the quality and the quantity will be half. And now this is the best time for the harvesting, when the flower is closed like this, and this is we harvested. And then we harvest. This is when the closed situation, and this is we should harvest. Usually if we harvesting, for example, for the 20 kilogram of the fresh flowers takes near the 8 hours or 9 hours. Separating, we have 2 process: harvesting and the separating petal from the red part, and then separating the white root, yellow part from the lobe. These also times, this process separating takes 2 times of the harvesting. For example, if it takes 8 hours harvesting the 10 kilogram fresh flowers takes near the 10 hours, the separating takes 20 hours, exactly 2 times takes time. Now they have started, they are getting closer to us, and now we separated, and I will give this beautiful stigma. And this is this beautiful stigma. Now they have the starter. This is the separately. This is the growing saffron outdoors. They have the started. Is that very hard? They should in the I think this is the 8 a.m. and the near 5 hours they are working, and the bend and the harvesting is the, you know, all of this has a high cost for the owner, the high cost for the labor force. Due to this reason, saffron is so expensive. I told you 90% of the price of the saffron related to the labor force, because for specialized in the harvesting. I'm not talking about the cultivating, because the cultivating happens by machines. But now, because the majority of the farm in the traditional way, and they don't have access to the machines, the majority of them harvest the flowers with the now I want to show you the harvesting of the flowers. Now these men, and now they are harvesting beautiful. I want to show you how they can harvest these beautiful flowers. Now you can see my friends take the camera to the, this is the plastic. Amazing, amazing smell. Amazing. Now they are starting the beautiful. چند کیلوگرم هر کدوم از اینا؟
2 کیلو.
2 کیلو. چقدر طول میکشه برداشتش؟
برداشت خیلی.
چقدر هر 1 کیلوگرم چقدر برداشت طول میکشه؟
گل باشه 20 دقیقه 10 دقیقه، گل نباشه 1 ساعت میشه.
اگه گل باشه چقدر 1 کیلوگرم؟
10 دقیقه جمع میشه.
اگه نباشه؟
اگه نباشه نیم ساعت.
2 ساعت. 1 کیلوگرم 2 ساعت طول میکشه.
گل نباشه.
And I told you how much the near, for example, this 1 kilogram for harvesting. For harvesting 1 kilogram fresh flower. These are known as the fresh flower. Now for harvesting 1 kilogram fresh flowers takes time the near 2 hours. 2 hours. But this time, if we have the full flower, for example like this, if we have the full flower, the time of the harvesting takes lower than these 2 hours. For example, the 1 hour. But usually, when they like this, when the workers shoot the seed, usually harvesting the 1 kilogram, harvesting 1 kilogram fresh flower takes 2 hours. Separating this amount of the fresh flower, 1 kilogram, if the 2 hours, that is very clear, separating the red part, separating petal from the red part, and also the separating red part from the white roots takes time 4 hours. Takes a lot of time. Due to this reason, is the saffron so expensive. Now they are started. Now they are harvesting. Really thanks, special thanks to the workers for harvesting this beautiful, and now beautiful bees, the honey bees. But saffron doesn't need to the pollinations. Now I saw this honey bee, I would like explain it. Doesn't need, like the strawberry, like the tomato, doesn't need to the pollination, but the honeybees needs. But the needs, usually this pollination is not very suitable, pollination via honeybees, because they provided some genetic origin abnormalities for the saffron. Now they are started. For example, the harvesting, when we have the full flower, when they have full flower, harvesting more easier than we don't have concentrated flowers, because the worker should find and the bends in the one surface. But in the growing saffron indoors, now I talk about how is so expensive the labor force. How this is the irrigations. They need a lot of water. Per hectare in the growing saffron outdoors need to the near 3,000 cubic meter waters. 1 hectare. The water requirement for the 1 hectare is the near 3,000 cubic meter water. 3,000 cubic meter water is a huge. Fertilizer a lot of. We have a lot of mouse. We have the other farm, other crops. Therefore, we have the diseases and disorder from the other farm. We have the some bears, we have the mouse. Here some region, this climate is not under my control, our control. Sometimes takes to minus, sometimes it's rainy. In this time that we have the saffron, harvesting the saffron flower in the at the end of the October to the beginning November, we shouldn't have any rainy weather. We shouldn't have minus temperature. The best temperature on the day for the harvesting is the 16, 17 centigrade to 20 centigrade, and the night time the 6, 7 centigrade. And now if we don't have these conditions, for example the minus, now in these days is a very good suitable. But sometimes climate, we have the climate change, and like this, if they face with the rainy weather, if we have the temperature fluctuation, if we have the birds, all the crops will face with the problem, and there is not any guarantee. This 1 hectare usually we should cultivate 10 tons saffron bulb, but in the growing saffron indoors, this 1 hectare is equal near the 200 meters. 200 meters when the shelving near the 700 square meters. We can exactly put in the only 150, only 200 meters is equal 1 hectare. Who is access to the 1 hectare in the Europe, in the other country, in the America, in the Australia? But all of us, we have access to 100 meters, and with the shelving system, we can put all the bulbs in the 100 meters. In the 100 meters, we can easily put near 5,000 kilograms saffron bulbs, 5 tons, and the 5 tons in the 1 room 100 meters, we can easily harvest 4 kilogram dry saffron. The amount of the saffron in the growing saffron indoors, the higher than the traditional saffron. For example, here in this growing traditional saffron, the amount of the harvesting the saffron from the 1,000 kilogram saffron bulbs is near 300 gram. But in the saffron indoors, from 1,000 kilogram saffron bulb, we can easily harvest 700 gram to 1 kilogram dry saffron for the 1 tons. Now another thing, this is the concentrated in the shelves, all flower, too much concentrated, and the workers easily in the huge harvest. Therefore, we decrease the number of the workers, the time, decrease the time. That is very clear. In the water requirement is with the near the 90% will decrease the amount of the water. The amount of the fertilizer will be half. In the environmental factors, in this amount, for example, the 1 hectare, in the 100 meters, when this completely covered, easily controlled. All the cover, you cannot see any mouse, you cannot see any birds, you cannot see any insects in the environment. That is very clear. Take caring and the caring about 10 tons of the bulbs in the 100, in the 200 meters is very easily with the cover related to, rather than, for example, if the 1 hectare and the completely open with the sunlight, with the birds. Therefore, everything is under control. We can remove all negative points in the covered environment. Harvesting is under control. Harvesting is easier. Now you can see this the growing saffron. But I don't want to say we should remove the everything, the traditional. No, this is the related. For example, this is in Iran and other country, but other country that we don't have access to the good climate, like the day without rainy weather in the summer and the temperature between the 8 to 17 centigrade in the autumn, you can, in the covered environment, you can easily provide for you a climate like Iran in the controlled environment, like this.